Welcome to lesson number 5 on how you can use Google Slides in your online classroom. Today we are doing our last set of basic question styles, true or false. But this time I'm going to show you 2 different styles. Let's get started. Always, I have a lovely background. Everything is prepped and ready, so let's jump straight into it. This one is really easy. All you have to do is insert your questions, just like that. Now, you need to find an X and a check mark. Now, for this first style, it does not matter what the check mark and the X look like. Just find one that you like and copy and paste. Now, it's preferable that they have the same style. So if you can find some that are in a pair, that's better. So the first thing that we're going to do is crop out the one that we need. For example, let's start with the X. So we're just going to crop that down so that only the X is showing. Okay. We're going to bring it over here to our first one. And right now, it's absolutely massive. We don't want it like that. We're just going to shrink it a little bit until it looks a little bit more normal. So we want all of our buttons to be the same size. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. Our second one is also incorrect, so I'm just going to drag it down. And the third one is obviously true. So now we need our check mark. You're going to select crop image one more time, and it's going to bring the box back up. And as you can see, our check mark is still there, hiding away in secret. So we're just going to grab this box here, and we're just going to move it over until our check mark is visible and the X is hidden. And it's going to come down here. And Teacher Kayla is awesome is also obviously true. And voila. Then all you have to do is go through and select them and animate them as you have been the past few lessons. Easy peasy. The second one is a little bit more tricky. It's technically not true or false, but it uses the checks and the X's in a similar way. I usually call it spot the mistake. So in this question type, you're going to type out a paragraph for your student to read. There's 2 different ways to do this. You can highlight different sections and the student has to decide if it's correct or incorrect, in which case we're going to have both X's and check marks. Or you can have it to where they're only looking for the mistakes. Nothing is highlighted at all. It's just a paragraph, and they have to go through and find the mistakes. In my experience working both in the brick and mortar classroom and also over the past 4 or 5 years now, I've been an online teacher. This method tends to be a little bit more stressful for the student. So most of the time I don't do that. I will usually highlight a section in a different color, and then we will pause. They will read through, they will pause at the part that's highlighted, and I will say, okay, is this correct or incorrect? And then we'll move through that way. The students usually prefer this method because it's a little bit less stressful for them. So I'm just going to insert a text box and type in some gibberish. And as you can see, I went through and I put in bold the sections that I want to stop at. Now, I will have the student read the whole sentence. They will read, like for example, they'll read this whole thing right here. And then we'll say, okay, this word here that's in bold, is it being used correctly? Is it the correct word that belongs in this sentence? Is it grammatically correct? Is it spelled correctly? Is the definition correct? Does it work in this sentence? And they will say yay or nay. We cannot use the same check mark that we used for the previous true or false questions because they have a circle and they have a white background before they have the X. This means when you paste it on top of this paragraph, it's going to be very distracting because you're going to be able to see the letters in the background of that X. Instead, you want to find something that looks like this, where there's no white. It's not going to be transparent at all. And then we're going to crop this in the same way that we did the first one. We will do all of our correct ones first this time. And we're going to scale it down to where it looks normal. Okay, so let's say that this first one is correct. And we're just going to copy and paste it. Maybe this one's correct. This one's correct. And I'm just kind of arbitrarily selecting them at the moment. And now I want to get my X out. So I'm going to hit the crop image button again. Drag my X over so that it's the exact same size as the check mark. And go put it on all of the other ones. Take advantage of that red line as it appears. It will help you keep everything in order. And make sure it's all lined up. Then you're just going to go through and in order select add animation for everything. Now you can do this one at a time. You can do this in order. But I like to do the animation part at the end. Once everything is nicely animated, you want to test your animation. Always test your animation. Hit the play button. There's our first one. Student keeps reading. So far, so good. Oh, would you look at that? There's a mistake. I skipped one. Or perhaps I did it in the wrong order. Let's find out. That one's there. That one's there. Nope, it looks like I just skipped one completely. So, this is why you always want to check your mistakes. Now, you have two choices. You can try to figure out where this is in the sequence. Or you can delete all of your animations and just start over. When I'm very tired and I don't really feel like thinking about it, I will usually do that. I will just delete all of the animations and start over from the beginning. Now that we have corrected our mistake, let me show you how to put it in the correct sequence. So we're going to click on the one that we had forgotten. We're going to add animation. And if you look, it has gone to the very bottom of the list. But if I leave it there, it will be the last thing that appears, and we don't want that. So if you look, we have two green check marks in a row before this one is supposed to appear. So we're going to drag it up and put it underneath of the two green check marks. Now let's test it one more time and see if we have fixed the problem. Good to go. Much better. And voila, now we are done. We are all done with these standard question types. Next time, I will show you how to make a word search to make things a little bit more interesting. I hope you found this lesson helpful, and I can't wait to see you again next time. Bye!